What's up, team? Sorry, I could not see myself on the live stream for some reason, but here I am. Today, we are starting a 75 hard challenge. So this is a really fun reset that we do at Unity Gym, and it is a modified version of Andy Frischella's 75 hard. And I'm going to bring up my document here that has my pre-prepared text post that I post into the UMS tribe forums for the app. So this is what it is. I'm going to read this out to you guys and then I'll talk you through it while we're doing it. So today I will be embarking on Unity Gym's 75 hard, inspired by the original 75 hard created by Andy Frischella. This program is designed to help you take control of your life and unlock your full potential. By following the UMS workouts, calorie-controlled meal plans, and getting 10,000 daily steps, you'll develop essential skills such as confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, self-belief, fortitude, grittiness, and discipline. Unity Gym's adaptation of 75 hard. Similar to the original, this program will transform your mindset, health, and discipline through the execution of 5 simple tasks every day for 75 days with no compromises or substitutions. However, the Unity Gym adaptation offers a more structured approach, supplying you with specific workouts and diets to maximize your progress and success throughout the 75 days. Here are the 5 critical tasks you must complete daily. Task number 1, follow a diet of your choice, preferably the UMS meal plans. You must adhere to a structured diet for 75 days without any deviations, excuses, alcohol, or cheat meals. This task is meant to cultivate extreme discipline that can be applied to all areas of your life. If you don't have any special dietary needs, simply follow the UMS done-for-you calorie-controlled meal plans. Task number 2. 2 workouts a day. 1 UMS workout can be a UMS mobility or flexibility workout, and then either 10,000 steps or a 10-minute meditation. So you must complete 2 workouts each day. One must be a UMS workout recorded in the UMS app, and the second must be 10,000 steps accumulated through walking or running or a 10-minute meditation. Which UMS workout you do doesn't matter. It can be from your custom program or it can be the 20-minute mobility routine, as long as you're getting a daily workout in. Task number 3, drink half a gallon of water. Half a gallon, 1.9 liters every day to teach discipline and maintain good physical and mental health. Task number 4, read 10 pages. Read at least 10 pages from a non-fiction educational book to improve any area of your life. Can be an audio book. Task number 5, take a progress picture. Upload a progress picture to the UMS app daily to document your journey and push through uncomfortable moments. Progress pictures do not need to be shared in the community forums. They can be just for you. Unity Gym's adaptation of the 75 hard program is designed for anyone looking to take control of their life, regardless of their starting point. This transformative mental toughness program can be scaled to suit anyone. By completing all 75 days exactly as laid out, you'll develop the skills to significantly improve the rest of your life and make 2024 a transformative year. With dedication and commitment, you can change your life forever throughout this program. The key difference between the original 75 hard program and the Unity Gym version lies in the structure and guidance provided. While the original program offers a set of rules and tasks for you to follow, the Unity Gym version takes it a step further by removing any guesswork. Unity Gym provides you with the exact workouts and diets, ensuring a more comprehensive and streamlined experience. By following Unity Gym's UMS workouts and calorie and macro controlled meal plans, you'll have a clear path towards achieving your goals, eliminating the need to research and plan on your own. This added level of support and guidance allows you to focus solely on your mental and physical transformation, making the journey smoother and more efficient. And then there's a lovely quote that I love at the end here. You will be tempted to try to change things a little to suit you and your special lifestyle, but that right there is the root of every problem in your life. Whew, powerful stuff. Powerful stuff, everybody. So why am I doing this? Why are we doing this? Well, we're doing this because I'm doing this, and I've just put this out as a challenge to the tribe for anybody to join in. We did this last time at the start of the year, and obviously there's a lot of people really want to get onto something like this in January, you know, New Year's resolutions. But I know that in the Northern Hemisphere, for you guys up there, I know that you're just coming out of summer break. At least in America. I'm only just learning that summer break is a really big thing in America or in the United States. And I've been told that that's a time when people sort of really feel like they want to hit the ground running and focus. In Australia and in the Southern Hemisphere, where we've just started spring, so things are just starting to warm up for us here. And in Australia, that is definitely a time when people sort of come out of the woodwork and they're like, got to get fit again. It's beach season. Got to get into the bikini body. So it's just a good time to refocus. And these kinds of challenges, they have a lot of really lasting benefits. Research shows that when people adopt a all-in mentality, when they go in on a fitness program or on change, that they have greater adherence to people that think, oh, I'm just going to sort of dip my toes into it. Because the truth is, like that final quote there, you'll be tempted to change things a little to suit you and your special lifestyle, but that right there is the root of every problem in your life. That is a really, really powerful quote. And it's something that I've absolutely observed in people who achieve their health and fitness goals over my decades of being a coach, and those who don't. The people that don't, they seem to want to change everything to suit what their lifestyle is. And we have a real problem in modern society, and you've probably heard people say things like this before. You've probably heard people say, we've got this obesity epidemic. There's in the Western world, in Australia, the last time I checked, and this was years ago, it's gotten worse since then. Over 65% of people are overweight and over 35% of people are obese. And that's just one example. We've got a diabetes epidemic. We've got the majority of people are dying of cardiovascular disease. Like, these are things that are preventable. If you look at health in the Western world as a whole, we're not doing well. So the idea that things need to be radically changed up in most people's lives is something that I can really get behind. And so if you hear this and you're thinking, wow, this sounds really, really cool, get on it. It's life-changing. It really is, because it forces you. If you do the Unity Gym version of the 75 Hard, so you're doing a structured workout, for between 20 and 60 minutes, one of our gym workouts or one of our at-home workouts, and then you also do 10,000 steps, or you meditate for 10 minutes every day, it forces you to really reallocate your time, because it's a big commitment. Most of the people that we work with are people who have children or who are considering having children. We seem to work with people who are over the age of 35. They're the people that resonate with us. I guess that's probably because my brother Yanni and I'm 46 now, Yanni's 44, and we both have kids. So, people are resonating with that. And it's very, very hard to find time for that kind of thing. I actually did a post on this just the other day over the weekend. I talked about how, when you're in your 40s, you don't have the same kind of energy levels and the same amount of time that you have when you're in your 20s. But you can use that as your strength, because what you do have that you certainly didn't have in your 20s is wisdom and experience. And I have been able to achieve more with my health and fitness with wisdom and experience on my side in my 40s than I ever could in my 20s. Back in my 20s, I had all the time and all the energy, but I had no experience and no wisdom, and I didn't achieve a fraction of what I've achieved in my 40s. I'm in so much of a better state with my health and fitness now, and I've got so much less time, so much more commitments, and it's purely from, training smarter, not harder. So you might be looking at this and thinking, oh my God, I don't know if I could ever fit that in. Well, maybe what you need is a real radical shake-up of what's going on in your life. And that might be the thing that really changes things for you. And I know for myself, this is something that I go through periodically. I think I reassess what it... Actually, I haven't done this so much in the last 5 or 8 years, because I really went through this process in my mid to late 30s, when I was looking ahead at the road ahead of trying to achieve what my goals were. And I'd gotten out of the army when I was 34 years old. I came back to being a personal trainer with my brother Yanni, and we were working our butts off to train our clients in Fitness First in the gym, while we were also working to open Unity Gym. So that was back in 2012, and we opened Unity Gym in 2013. And, we opened Unity Gym up, and all of a sudden I was this gym owner, and everybody that was in the gym, wanted to learn from Yanni and I, and we were sort of elevated on that sort of pedestal as being the people that owned the gym. And my body wasn't in a good state at all. I'd come out of the army where I'd been eating really bad food for 4 years. I was a little bit more overweight than I am now. I'd fractured my spine when I was in the army. I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't do what I could do 5 years ago before I joined the army. My body just wasn't in that state. And I went through this, I was thinking about what I'd love to achieve, and that was when I was, exploring the idea of doing calisthenics. I'd never done calisthenics then, and I was thinking about where I wanted to put my effort with training, and I liked the idea of wanting to learn calisthenics skills. And I was looking at how much work was ahead of me for doing that. And I went through this whole process of thinking, because it was so much work. And back then I was a gamer as well. I was really into playing video games, and I enjoyed drinking a beer when I was playing video games online with my mates. And I went through this whole process of thinking, do I really have this in me? Do I have the energy? Can I be bothered chasing these goals? And I went through about a month where I processed, maybe I can just accept being the gym owner and being the guy that has the knowledge and that can help people to do things. But, my best years are behind me, and I'll have pictures of what I used to be able to do, and I'll have videos. And that was honestly what was going through my head, because I was playing this out. I was playing out, do I want to keep going down the road that I'm on and enjoying what I'm doing and just accepting that I'm never going to achieve my health and fitness goals, or do I want to really go all in and follow those goals? And when I went through that process and I sat with that feeling of playing out my future, of being, 10 years in the future or 20 years in the future, and that my health and fitness would gradually get worse, but my life would be easy. And I'll tell you what I mean by, the parenthesis for easy. Is that going to be the life that I want? And it was so clear to me. I had this sick feeling in my stomach that I was not living true to my purpose and to my why, that this was not the right path for me, and that I would not be satisfied. And I came to the decision that the pain and suffering of living in a body that was getting, that was progressively just getting into a worse state of health and fitness, getting weaker, getting less flexible, the aches and pains from the fractured spine that I'd had in the army, and all of these issues that I had in my body, that they're all getting worse, and my reliance on painkillers would be going up as I aged. That pain was far worse than the effort required to achieve my health and fitness goals. And I think the only thing that anyone can ever do in order to make this change, the change that I made, is to really go through that process, to weigh these two things up and say, I can feel this pain, I can feel this emotional torment, this hurt within me that is, that I live with daily, because I can feel that my state of health and fitness is on the decline, and I can feel it, my happiness is suffering, and I feel ashamed of the way that, because I felt ashamed with the way that I look, and the fact that my appearance and everything was going down as I was getting older. And that was, I was able to hold on to that as being much worse than what was required to get me to where I wanted to go. And there was so much involved in that, after I'd made that decision and I was really going all in with my training, the next big lesson for me was that I realized that if I was going to go all in with my workouts like this, that I really had to prioritize recovery. And this, it was this process of getting all these injuries, because I was really putting so much effort into my training, but I wasn't. I was still staying up late on Friday and Saturday night playing video games and drinking beers and things like that. So there's this whole process that I had to go through to get to where I am now. But where I am now, we've fast forwarded 10 years. I'm 46 now, and I have absolutely zero pain in my lower back anymore. It's like that pain is gone. It's a complete thing of the past. And where I was, if you don't know what the injuries that I actually had was, I have a pars fracture, a bilateral pars fracture in L4 and L5. So that was the acute injury that I did when I fell down this massive ravine in the army when I was serving overseas in East Timor. I had 35 kilogram body armor on and 10 kilograms of ammunition and a rifle and all the crap that you wear when you're in the army as an infantry soldier. And then that developed spondylolisthesis and spondylosis. So I've got like almost no disc between L4 and L5. When you look at it on a CT scan, the two vertebrae are rubbing together. So I've got no pain from that anymore. And I've come from not even being able to get through a day without painkillers. So that's one thing. I had these really bad injuries in my shoulders. I had slap tears, and I have, without surgery, I'm stronger now and more capable than I was before I had my slap tears. I'm getting better at calisthenics as I age. So when you think about that, and when you think about doing something like the 75 hard, like going all in on something, like making this decision where you're like, where you look at this road ahead and you think, my God, that's hard. Was it worth it for me? I can't even describe how much more worth it is. Like, I'm a completely different person. I've completely changed my life. I've moved on from drug and alcohol addiction. I've become somebody that when people hear my age, like when I'm down at the beach and I'm with dads who are 15 years younger than me here, and they find out that I'm 46 and they're 30, and they look at me and they just can't believe it. They can't comprehend how somebody so much older than them can be in so much better shape. And what that does for my relationship with my son, my 7-year-old son, the way that he looks up to me and the way that he, gets inspired by what I do and comes down and looks at me when I'm working out, is that worth the effort that I put in? It absolutely is. And the thing is, change, there's this really funny, I don't know how to describe it. I was going to say it's a bell curve, but maybe that's not the right way to describe it. But there's this process of real change that goes on with our health and fitness, where at the start of real change, like if we're talking life-changing transformations in your body, it is without a doubt one of the hardest things you'll ever do. It is so fucking hard to break free from where you are stuck, where you're on this hamster wheel of just going through the motions, and every week or every day or 10 times a day, whatever it is, you can feel this pain and suffering that you're not living the life that you want. It is so fucking painful to break free from that and to go through that first week of where you go through this motion where you come home and you want to sit down to watch Netflix or play video games or whatever it is, and you reach for the Tim Tams or you go for the ice cream or you go for the beer, and you fight yourself from having to, break free from that. But what happens is, if you do it every single day, that you actually stick to something like these 5 habits from the 75 hard, every single day you become stronger. And the feeling that you feel, like the pain that you feel when you're forcing yourself to not do the thing that you really want to do that's holding you back, when you wake up the next morning, the feeling that you feel from having beaten that and having overcome it, it is like nothing else. You are so on top of the world. You feel so proud of yourself that you didn't drink alcohol, that you didn't eat Tim Tams, that you didn't eat ice cream, that you went to sleep at a decent hour, whatever it is. And then every day that you do that, it's just like training a muscle. It's like doing a bicep curls. You strengthen the bicep with every workout. And the habit is like a muscle, or I shouldn't say that. Willpower is like a muscle. So you train it, it becomes stronger. And after that first sort of 10 days, the research shows that 10 days of creating a new habit is the hardest. And then the next 10 days is still hard, but it's easier. And after about 3 weeks, it starts to become easier, and it starts to become something that sort of goes on repeat. And when you get to the stage where I'm at now, I'm years after going through this journey, and I can tell you it was not a fucking straight line for me. It was not like I just went, I'm going to make this decision, and bang, my life just improved like that. There was so many ups and downs, and I beat myself up over the years so many times for failing on myself and for failing to achieve my goals. But where I'm at now, it's so easy. I don't even think of it now, because the same way that I said, like breaking free from old habits and creating new habits is so goddamn hard. Once you've created the new habit, it's actually really hard to break it. And the analogy that I love that Yanni uses all the time, he talks about it's, creating a new habit and changing your life like this. It's like sending a rocket to the moon. When a rocket goes into orbit, something like 95% or 98% or whatever it is of the fuel is used to break free from the atmosphere. And then it's this minute amount of fuel and effort to, maintain orbit around the Earth or to get to the moon. So that's what it's like. It really is. And I am somebody that when I do my best effort to speak about things on these live streams and in all the videos that I do that I have direct experience with. Every now and then somebody will ask me a question about something that I've got no experience with, and I'll answer and just say, look, I'm so sorry, I can't help you with that. I don't have experience. But what I'm talking to you about, I'm talking about it with so much passion because I have so much experience with this. I have firsthand experience with rebuilding my life, from everything that I've just described to where I am now. And yeah, when you get there, when you get to this point where you've really and truly changed your life, it's not hard at all. It is so easy. You've just become this new person. And the person that I am now, I'm a person that I go to bed at, somewhere between 8:30 and 9 every night. 9:30 is a late night for me. Once in a blue moon, I'll stay up because I want to watch this new show or this new movie, and I'll stay up until 10 or 10:30, and I'm so goddamn exhausted the next day because I still wake up at 5 a.m. even when I go to bed at 10:30. And it's not that I don't ever drink alcohol. I do drink alcohol sometimes, but it's so rare. And I've just completely broken free from the addiction of it. There is zero. I don't have to, like when I was first, cutting back on alcohol, and I was never an alcoholic. When I look at what people who were alcoholics, what they talk about, like I was never somebody that was drinking during the day. I was never drinking every day. I was never starting drinking at 3 p.m. or whatever it was. I was never like that. But I was somebody that drank every weekend, and I was somebody that drank every time I went to a bar or whatever. And, so I went through this process where I'd go to a pub or a bar with friends, and I'd be sitting there the whole time just having this battle in my mind of not drinking alcohol, and telling myself, no, you can't do this, you can't do this. Like that's just completely gone now. When I go to pubs and bars or when there's alcohol around me, the thought doesn't even enter my mind, and people will come up and offer me a drink, and there's just absolutely nothing. Like there's no fear of drinking again. There's no desire to do it or anything like that. I've got a few questions here, so I'm just going to answer them quickly because I've been ranting for a little while. So Josh, I'll get to you in a sec. But Elena, you know what? I actually don't drink coffee anymore, and I'll tell you why. I'm really happy that you asked that question, because what I do, my life and the way that I really want to live, like, when you get to my age, and I don't know if you guys that are watching are younger than me, my age, or older, because, when I talk to people that are in their 50s, they always laugh and go, oh, you're still so young. And then people in their 60s will say that people in their 50s are still so young. But at my age, I feel this real feeling for the first time in my life ever. You start to look forward at how many years you've got left, and you start to think, maybe I've got less years left in my life than what I've already lived. And that's an interesting feeling and an interesting thought to process. And when I go through that, it's all about making what I've got left as good as they can be. And sometimes people will say to me when I go to drink, when I say, no, I don't want a drink, thank you. And they say, oh, why not? And my answer is, I say with full confidence, I say, I've had so much alcohol in my life, I'm not missing out on anything. I know exactly what it's like to drink alcohol. I know what I get from it. I know what it gives me. I know how it rewards my life. Something that's quite new to me is being sober for an extended period of time. And the feeling that you get from not drinking alcohol that builds, and not taking drugs, that builds day to day and week to week, that is an incredible feeling. It's an incredibly powerful feeling. Now back to the coffee. The last time I drank coffee, and I used to drink coffee every day, love a good coffee, and what I used to do was I would front load my caffeine. So I would usually have 2 coffees in a day, and they were always before 8 a.m. And I was really like biohacking. I hate that word because I hate getting on the trendy words. But I'd watched a podcast or listened to a podcast with Andrew Huberman, and he was talking about how caffeine affects the adenosine system, and that isn't even awake when you first wake up. It takes like 90 minutes to 2 hours for it to even activate. And so to avoid that caffeine crash that people get at lunchtime, you have your first coffee at least 90 minutes after you wake up. So I was even doing that until recently. I would get up at 5 a.m. and I wouldn't have a coffee straight away. I'd wait until 7 a.m. when my wife and son would get up because I work at home. And then I'd go upstairs and I'd have a coffee with my wife. And then I'd have a second coffee pretty much straight away, like within 20 or 30 minutes. And I'd do that because I wanted all my caffeine at the start of the day. I didn't want to be having caffeine at lunchtime because it affected my sleep. Now, here's why I don't drink coffee anymore. The last time I had a coffee was the last time I drank alcohol. And that was about 3 months ago. And I didn't get shit-faced or anything like that. I don't know, maybe I had 3 glasses of wine, or maybe I think I was a bit stupid. I think I had 1 beer and 2 glasses of wine, so I mixed alcohol. And I just felt crap the next day. I just woke up going, oh God, I feel like shit. And so I had a strong coffee. And what I noticed was that now I still felt shit from the hangover, but I also had anxiety from the strong coffee. I could feel myself being really jittery. And my wife had been saying to me for months and months, she was pointing out to me that she could notice that I was really anxious or really like short and sharp after my coffee. And she used to start saying to me, she'd look at me in the morning and go, oh, you've had your coffee, haven't you? Because I was being, really short and sharp. And this was the first time that I felt it. I could feel that I was so jittery, and I really sat with that for the day. I sat with how that made me feel, and it just lasted for the whole day. It slowly tapered off, but then the next day when I got up, that was gone because the caffeine was out of my system, and I was tired and lethargic, and I felt like I wanted that buzz, but I didn't have that jitteriness, that sort of shaky jitteriness that I'd get from caffeine. And I didn't have a coffee since then. I haven't had one since. And so that was about 3 months ago now, whenever it was. And I went through a process for about, I don't know, maybe it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks where I guess I was going through withdrawals and I was a little bit grumpy and cranky in the morning. But I've become so in tune with what I said at the start of this live stream, which is, sorry, I'm trying to remember my quote. I haven't had coffee and it's 7 a.m. over here, so I'm not that awake yet. That I've become so in tune with the pain of whatever it is that I'm living with that's not allowing my life to thrive versus the effort required to make this change that I know is going to benefit my life. I'm so in tune with that now when I recognize something that I look at and I think, well, this is going to be a lot of effort, but it's going to make my life better, I just act on it straight away. A big thing for me this year was to reduce the time between when I have an idea that I know is going to produce a result in my life that's positive or my business and the execution of that idea. Because what I noticed within myself and what I see in so many people is that time between, I've got this idea, I should do this, it's going to make my life better or it's going to produce a result in my business, but it's a lot of effort, so I don't know if I want to do it. And then you have this whole time period where you keep procrastinating and putting it off and going and doing meaningless tasks like washing dishes that you never even use or whatever before you go, oh God, I better go and do that thing. I reduced that time to next to nothing now. So a big thing for me this year was, here's my idea, I'm going to do this, and bang, I just go and do it and act on it. And I get so much more done from that. So Josh, you're just chiming in here. Oh man, you're on your 12th day. Well done, man. Keep at it, brother. Keep at it. It is hard, man. It really is. You've heard me describe this. It is really, really hard to break free from drinking alcohol, especially because alcohol is so accepted in society. Alcohol is so accepted that it's almost it's not almost, in Australia at least, you're the weird one if you don't drink. In Australian culture, and Josh is Australian, if you go to a social event in Australia and you're not drinking, people will look at you and go, why? Why aren't you drinking? And it'd be like, it's so weird because it's the only drug that's like that. Like imagine you went to a party and somebody offered you a line of cocaine and you said, oh, no, thanks, I don't want any cocaine. And people looked at you and went, what? Why don't you want some cocaine? Like alcohol is the only drug where it seems to be that you have to explain yourself as to why you don't want it. And it's just such a shame, because there's no way around the fact that alcohol is poison. It's recognized in the body as a toxin. It's ethanol. There is nothing good about it. The recent research shows that there is no safe amount of alcohol that you can drink. We used to think that you can have 2 standard drinks safely and your body would eliminate it and there'd be no problem. We know that that's complete rubbish now. Any amount of alcohol that goes in the system causes damage to the liver, and the more you have, the harder it is for the liver to ever recover from it. So, yeah. Look, I watch out with preaching, you know. I don't want to come across like a preacher. I really don't, because I know that doesn't work for people. But back to the 75 hard. This is why things like this are so effective, you know, like, because you go into something like the 75 hard and it forces you to really, really, truly transform your life. So for any of you guys that are out there, you know, you don't need to be a part of the UMS to do this. If you go and Google 75 hard, it'll come up there, but it really forces you to sort of take control of it yourself. You have to figure out what workouts you want to do. You have to work out what diet you want to do, all of that. If you're somebody that's willing to put a little bit of skin in the game financially, if you join the UMS app, it's only $1.75 US a day, and you'll work with me directly, meaning that I will write your custom programs. You'll have direct access to me through the app for coaching, and everything's done for you. So if that's something you want to do, go to unitygym.com and get started. And you don't have to start today if you watch, because this is a live stream. Somebody might be watching this live stream in a week or a month or whatever. You can start a 75 hard challenge whenever you want. But if you start today, you're going to be doing it with me. You're going to be doing it with the rest of the Unity Gym tribe. And that is a powerful thing, because social, what's the word? What's the phrase I'm looking for here? Can't remember. I need coffee. It's just working in a group, working in a tribe, working together has been proven to, you know, the herd mentality really, really, really helps adherence to things like this. And Elena, back to you. Thanks for the no coffee response. Second coffee free day for me. Great work. Good on you. You know, I'll tell you what works for me. I actually did decaf for a while, and I found that decaf was a really good substitute. You know, I would never normally drink decaf, but when you're like, oh my God, I need coffee, decaf was really, really good for me. It really helped. But I went off coffee for a month about 6 months ago. And that's when I had decaf for that month. This time when I went off it, I just went cold turkey, and it worked fine for me, because I had such a strong why. And I'll get back to this. You know, I got this concept from Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins is obviously, you know, a guru of this stuff of real change. But it's from the book Awaken the Giant Within, where I saw this concept of you have to become aware that the pain and suffering of not having the goals, not living in the body that you want, not living the life that you want, outweighs the effort that's required to get there. Until you can recognize that, you'll never make the change that you want to make. That's a direct quote from Tony Robbins. Well, not verbatim, but the concept. So, yeah, when it was that moment when I'd had, well, not that moment, but that experience when I'd had that coffee and I could feel the jitteriness, but I still felt hungover. That was when I could so clearly feel within myself, within my heart and soul, that this was not for me anymore. And I just stopped straight away. And so now I drink black tea, and I drink it black. I don't drink it with sugar, and I don't drink it with milk or cream or anything like that. And again, the reason why I don't do that is people look at me when I do that and think, oh God, you don't even have a bit of cream or something with it. And I don't do that, because the truth is, having cream or having sugar with a tea is purely, the only thing it does is help it taste better for me. And that's even debatable. Some people don't like the flavor of cream. But it doesn't do great things for your digestive system. And another big thing, which is a whole nother topic, maybe I'll talk about this next week if you guys want. I am on a mission to rebuild my digestive system health, because alcohol, drug abuse, you know, the terrible food that I used to eat when I was younger, it's caused major impact, negative impact on my digestive system. And gut health is so important for your body. Gut health is where it all starts. And there's a lot of really good research that links gut health to emotional health as well, to depression, to anxiety, to things like that. Modern treatments of depression and anxiety they're looking at the gut. They're not treating it with medicine. So that's something that I'm on a real mission to improve as well. So I think about everything that I put in my mouth. I think about, how is this going to affect my gut health? So yeah. So Elena, you're welcome for that. Josh, what have you said here? You have a mate who wrote a good article on sobriety on Medium. Keynote is, what do I have to gain? Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely true. Nathan, thanks for chiming in and giving me your 2 cents. Marin, what are you saying? Oh, you missed the first 30 minutes. How do we track our tasks in the 75 hard, and where to upload the daily pics? So Marin's one of our members in the UMS app. So Marin, I'll help guide you in the app for this, so you can post it in the app, and I'll answer it so that our other members can see my answer as well. But when you look in the app and you go to the U tab, there's an upload progress photo in there for you, and it's really, really cool because it'll store all your progress photos, and you can do comparisons. So you can grab any 2 progress photos and put them together in the app, and it shows them there. And they're not viewable by anybody else. It's just for you in the app. Yeah, you're off coffee too, Nathan. That's awesome. That's really, really good. Yeah, and off fast foods too. And you've lost 10 pounds, man. It's incredible. Our bodies are so incredibly powerful. We really do adapt to whatever it is that we do to it. So, we can all see the adaptation that happens when you lift weights. You lift weights, you adapt, and the muscles get bigger and you get stronger. But you eat shit food, you drink coffee all the time, you drink alcohol, your body adapts to that, and it grows in a way that we just don't like, that we don't. Nobody's happy with the results of living that kind of a life. And as soon as you remove that stuff, you remove the thing that's causing you to be unhealthy, your body just starts to become healthier again. And it's incredible what happens. And if you stick to this, Nathan, if you stay on this path, wait until you see what happens, because it doesn't stop, man. It doesn't, you don't sort of hit a point where you stop getting healthier. You just keep getting healthier. Your body just keeps improving. And it's incredible what happens. And what you feel after 10 days is incredible. What you feel after 10 weeks is game changing. And what you'll feel after 10 months is you will be a completely different person. If you really see this through and you really see it out. And if, Josh, you've been off alcohol for however long, Nathan, you're on the wagon as well. For any of you guys that are doing this, I'll give you something that really works for me, because you need to prepare for the times that your willpower is not going to be strong, because it will happen. I guarantee you there will be times where you'll be tested. For me, the times that I'm tested is when I'm in a vibe with people and I'm feeling really excited and there's a really positive vibe and people are getting drinks. And I start thinking, your old patterns start to play out, and you start thinking, oh, this experience would be enhanced with alcohol. And I've danced with this over the past, I think 4 years now. For 4 years now, I've been on this decline with how much I drink, and I've gone through periods where I've done 6 months without a drop. I've never done a full year yet without a drop, but I just drink so much less than I ever have before. And then I'll have these times where, like a few months ago, where I will have maybe 3 drinks, and I'll think and that's nothing compared to what I used to do. It's a very, very small amount of alcohol for who I used to be, but I think to myself, oh, this is a good vibe. Everybody's having a drink. I'm going to have one with them. And it never, ever, ever enhances the experience for me. What I've learned recently, and my wife is now on this wagon too as well, is that I really enjoy the experience of sipping the alcohol. So when I'm having it and I'm drinking it, I go, this is really nice. But the second the drink is finished, and I'm left with the feeling of being intoxicated. And of course, it's only being tipsy. It's not like you're drunk. But that feeling in there, I don't like it anymore. It doesn't make me feel any better. And then what I get the next day, I've learned that there is no amount of alcohol that I can drink that doesn't make me feel hungover. When you don't drink at all and you thrive on health and fitness, I can have one drink and I will feel so shit the next day. It's just the worst feeling. And so back to, when you're being tested, what I highly recommend you do, if you're sitting there and you're playing that out in your head, should I have one? Should I haven't one? Should I not have one? Go for a walk around the block. Wherever you are, say, hey, I'll be back in a sec, and go for a walk around the block. And the research shows that this is a trick for people with smoking who are trying to give up cigarette addiction, which is a way harder. That's like a highly addictive substance. That if you can get through 3 minutes when you're feeling that, oh my God, I need a cigarette, then you can not have that cigarette. And you just do that on repeat. So when you're sitting there and you're battling with this feeling of, should I have a drink? Don't stay in that spot where you're sitting, battling with yourself, should I or shouldn't I do this? And you can play this out with eating sugar, with having Tim Tams, with having your ice cream, whatever you want, whatever it is that you want to stop. Stand up, go for a walk around the block and see if you really want it that badly. And then if you do choose to have it, try to choose to have it from a point of, I know what this is going to do to me, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then the next day, or after you've had it, sit with yourself, create some silence, go sit on your balcony, sit somewhere by yourself and truly ask yourself if it served you. Say, did this serve me? Did having that drink last night, is that in alignment with who I want to be? Or is it not in alignment with who I want to be? And I've gone through this process so many times. Again, I am not sharing anything that I don't do myself and that I haven't been forced to do with myself many times. And it's just so clear to me now that drinking alcohol, that doing all this stuff, it just is not in alignment with who I am. So yeah, there it is. And Marin, of course, you can rewatch the replay for this. So guys, I got to run. My family is just waking up. I can hear them upstairs, and I promise that I'm always upstairs with them at 7 a.m. and at 7:13 a.m. So I'm really happy that I had so many of you on the live stream. Normally I do these lives with Yanni, obviously, but Yanni's on holiday in Vietnam. I think he's back next Monday, but if he's not back next Monday, then I'll do another one. And I always struggle to come up with a topic by myself that I'm just going to be talking to the camera. So I'm really happy that I had so many of you on here live, and that for some of you, it seemed to be a topic that was relevant to you and that you got something from. If you have any questions, let me know. Put them in the comments. If you watch this later and you've got any questions, let me know. And if you would like me to do a live stream on gut health and what I'm doing to improve my gut health, what the health benefits are from that, what the mental health benefits are from that, how that helps to fight depression, all of that stuff, and then let me know, put it in the comments, and I'll do that. And if you'd rather me talk about something else, if there's something else that you're interested in, because I'm here for you guys. I don't want to just talk about things that are only relevant to me. I want to answer questions that you guys have, and I want to add value to your life. So if there's anything that you would like me to discuss next week, Yanni and I are committing to do this time every single week. So Nathan, your good night, Marin. I'll be going live at 3:30 p.m. I think it's Sunday for you guys over there every week. This is a weekly thing. Marin, for you, it's 10:30 p.m. on Sundays that I go live. And for everybody over in Australia, it's 6:30 a.m. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. All of that good stuff. And I'll see you soon.